Hey, how's it going? Well, it's been a productive day, and as you can see, I don't have a whole lot of stuff set up on the platform there. Because I had a whole bunch of stuff set up there, had a whole bunch of furnaces and everything set up, uh, running over here, and sitting right there, I had a refinery, and the only reason I had the whole thing set up was to make sulfuric acid so that I could unlock the recipe for the hardening agent. And the hardening agent is the next thing that I want to send up into orbit. So I left these two lines here for the end machines to route into, and then this is going to route into those. This cargo receiver right here is for sulfur ore, for the acid. Uh, Now, because I had the refinery sitting there, it kind of made sense to put this here. And I don't want to take this apart because then I'd have to run all the way back over there uh, to reassign that one. And I just don't feel like doing that. So that receiver is going to stay there, and I'm just going to run a line over here and into the factory. So I've realized there are several benefits to the way this is set up in grids like this. These things, because the grid is 8 by 8, uh, I can have several machines sitting in this one grid, and it's perfectly fine. So I had these two set up to make inductors so that I could make intermediate building materials. And now I don't need them. So we're just going to do this. Fill that back in. There we go. Uh, I have 4 cargo receivers over there. We've got calcium powder, calcium sheets, wolfram powder, and glass. And at the moment, that's all I need over here right now. So this one, this is fragile. It's receiving glass. This is wolfram powder. It's calcium powder and calcium sheets. So there are still a couple of receivers that I could put in here for the wolfram. Everything from the calcium mine right now is coming here. So the powder, the sheets, and the glass are all currently being made right here. The basic wolfram is being made there. So I've got powder coming in, but I've got wolfram sheets and also wire being made over there. So I only need to put in one more receiver for the wire, and then that will complete the receivers. You know what? I should probably do that. Let's put a receiver right there, which means I need to delete this line right here. And then we need to put let's put a modulator in there. Why not? Let's use the drone. It's much easier to build with. Let's put it right there. We're going to put a V2 rail from there into there. And then that one into there. And then this thing into here. Okay. So now the helium is running down that line over here and connecting into this junction, which is also supplying all the power for all of this. So everything that's lit up right now has a junction on it. Everything that doesn't have lights on it doesn't have a junction, is not lit up. There's no power out here. There's only power on that back line right now. And actually, I need to move that back line back to here because I'm going to have machines running from here all the way to there and then most of the way across on each grid. So let's set up our plant for the hardening agent. I like that it learns and it gets faster at taking stuff out. And there goes all the power. So there. The titanium up there has no power right now. It did have power. I had that line running over to that corner right there when I was making the sulfuric acid. So the machines up there are prepped and ready. And of course, helium's got its own power. Wolfram and calcium have their own power. So I need to move my guy. I got to put him up there. Otherwise, my drone is just too far out of range. Oop, take one of those. I need this. Let's put some platforms back in here. And last 3. There we go. Okay. Let's go stand my guy right here on this block. He's in the middle. I can cover all of that and the next section if I need to. Okay, so making hardening agent. I decided to make this entire thing just modular right now to make like one product to unlock recipes from the corporations. So 3 orbital launchers over there is probably enough because I'm going to have like 4 areas here producing hardening agent. So it's going to start back here. And there's going to be about 3 or 4 machines in this section. And then there's going to be 1 machine in this section, and then 1 machine in the last section. And those last 4 machines are all going to run into those splitters right there, run down to there, and then up into there. So I'm going to be making 4 of the same product, which is going to increase how fast I get recipes unlocked from those guys. Because it's starting to get up into the numbers that are going to be hard to make. So like 170,000, 262,000. Every time the level goes up, the number doubles. So having 4 sets of lines here making hardening agent and sending that up is going to cut down on the time. And I made a little chart. Ha ha. So we need to put down a fabricator. Fortunately, I can put a fabricator all the way back here. But these are 8 across, so I can leave a small gap there. Let's put 1 at the front of the grid. And I can leave a small gap there. And then I could run my supply lines there. I am going to have to run the titanium in. But I'm also going to have to run those in. Actually, let's do this. Because I'm going to need to run 2 lines in. Let's fill that back in. And then we will put our fabricator facing that way. There. We'll do the same thing across all 4 grids. So 1 there, 1 there. And then you're going to go there. And you are going to go there. Okay. So the first fabricator back here is making tubes. The second fabricator is making applicators. So we've got glass coming in from that last one over there. It's going to come down a line, feed in there. The rods and plates from the titanium are going to come down here, feed into that first one, and then feed into that one. Because we need the applicators at the very end for the hardening agent. Now we need a furnace. Yes. Now we need furnaces. And they need to face that way. Furnaces are a little on the tougher side. Actually, no, they're not. We can place a furnace right there. That one is going to be making ceramics. Ah, you can't build on those things. Okay, so that one is making ceramics. And then, up in the next grid, we are making silicon. And if we refer to the notes, yes, I have gotten lots and lots of notes here. We need calcium powder, helium, and ceramics. Okay, so the ceramics are being made in that furnace. We may as well put the next furnace right in front of it. And there we go. So now we've got this open spot right here. And we've got these guys right here. So we've got almost a straight line. Now, the hardening agent is made, I believe, in the furnace. Yes, it is. So we need one last furnace over here. But we also need a refinery. Now, the refinery puts out one acid every second. So I'm thinking I might just put the refinery right here at the end and then just feed a line straight across to go to these four to make the hardening agent. So, or to make, not hardening agent. Yeah, no. Silicon. No, hardening agent. It's the agent that needs it, right? Yes, the hardening agent needs the acid, not the silicon. Ugh. So, if I actually place that up here, leave a little bit of a gap at the back, that'll allow me to run the acid lines down here to these four, but then also run the lines from these guys up to there. Yes. Okay. All right. We need a refinery. And the refinery needs to face that direction, and I'm too far away, apparently. Bloop. Let's get you up to this level. And I want you around here. Okay, so now that's our refinery lined up right behind these guys. So I can just fire a line straight down here. And I am going to put lines in. We need to put a rail connector here, here, behind each one of these. So this is the end product. This is hardening agent right here. Those can just run straight into that. That can run straight into that. We need lines back here for these guys to run into, and a line for that to run into. So Put one there behind each one of these fabricators. Titanium is going to come down, hook into that line, and just run into these four. And then we're going to put a second line in right here behind it. And that's going to be for these guys to run into. So all of these are going to run up into this side and run down that line. Titanium's going to come in and it's going to run down this line. Those guys. That is my ceramics. Okay, so this line into here. We also need glass going into that. Not a problem. Fortunately, we've got a gap between everything. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, I may have screwed that up. The applicators need tubes and glass. That's making tubes. That's making glass. Oh dear. Wait, I know how I can fix this. All right, we take out those guys. And then we fill the gaps back in. Down here. You're too far. Get back. No. Okay, the only reason I'm filling in the gaps is aesthetics, honestly. I could leave the gaps there. Doesn't really matter. Okay, fabricators. So instead of placing the fabricator directly in front of that, we're going to move it over here. That fabricator is just going to snuggle up against that furnace, keep nice and warm. And then we need to put a rail connector. Ooh. Can I do that? Nope, won't let me do that. Okay, so that's level with that. That's down one. Let's see, can I do that? No, that's on that level. Like, come on. Okay, I need to change something here. All right. So what we're going to do is change this. The titanium line feeding in the tubes and plates is going to change slightly. Okay. We're going to go here. We're going to grab a rail connector there. But what we're going to do is raise it up. Okay, I can raise it up 4 notches, but I don't want to go that high. We can go down to there, which is that. 1 notch up. That should actually be enough. Because then should be able to feed a line from this one underneath that. Yeah. Let's go there. Raise it up a notch. I wish it would just stay at the height that I told it to. But no, I've got to raise it up every time. Okay, and we put you right there. Raise you up a notch. Beautiful. Okay, now this is here. Can I? No. Nah. Okay, put one right there. So then it's going to split here, go to that. The glass is going to go there. And then the plates and tubes are going to go here. That is going to feed over to this machine. Yeah, okay. There. And I've already got that one there. Okay. These guys, the silicon. Is it? No, the ceramics. Right. That is the ceramics. We need calcium sheets and wolfram powder going to those. Which means I need another one right here. Scratch that. In the interest of getting stuff done a little easier. I know, it's a process. What are you doing down there? Oh, whatever. I lowered it. I know I did. Yeah, okay. I'm going to put a rail modulator in here. And we're going to put this puppy here. Oh. Wait. That's right. I can't know. Right. Okay. Realizing mistakes. I have to have those in there. Wait. I don't need that there. I'm an idiot. That needs to come out of there. Titanium. That's making tubes. I need, yeah. I'm an idiot. Okay. Didn't need that one there. Need it somewhere else. Okay. Yeah. Okay, sometimes it takes a while. So now I wish I had that 5 rail in here. I would definitely use those. So let's put that there, right behind these. Yep, that begins to make sense now. I realize it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but okay, so not going to connect this line. This is going to be the last line coming in because of the power. And we're going to connect that line way out there into here. And then this is going to connect into that. And then it's going to run here, down to there. Ah. Sometimes I have good ideas. Other times, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Okay, so this front one here is going to feed into there. Oh, crap. Wait, I'm seeing my mistake now. That won't work. I need one of these. Right there. Good thing I raised up that other line. Okay. Now we run that into that. And then let's run the left one into there. Right one into there. This runs into here. This runs into there. That runs into there. And then this machine runs into there. I'm going to have to go over there to finish that off. Okay. So that's making that. This needs to run over here. You to there. And these have to be... They are direction specific. You run into there. You go there. You, my friend, go there. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, that's the titanium. What am I looking at? Wait, I ran that line the wrong way. No, I didn't. Hang on. Okay. There. Go there. There. Yeah. You go there. You there. There. And you over there. All right. Back to the beginning. Okay. We're almost done. Yeah, sure. Middle one. Why not? Are you? Oh, you're connected. Okay. You go there. You go there. Line's hooked up. That line's hooked up. Everybody's hooked up. So titanium across the top. Making tubes. Which are then... Glass is coming down this line, feeding in there. That's making applicators. That is making ceramics. Right? Yes. You're making ceramics. You're making silicon. You are making applicators. You're making tubes. And that's how it's going to run all the way down the line. So tube, applicator, ceramic, silicon, and then way over here. Where'd you go? Why are you not unlocked? I thought I had that unlocked. I could have swore I had that unlocked. Okay, you're making that. Yep. Okay, so we're back to this end. All right, ceramic, tube, silicon. I'm really confused as to why my hardening agent is not unlocked. Okay. You, of course, are making sulfuric acid. actually. Run a 2 out to here, and then from there to there. You're going to run into there. You're into there. You come with me. For some strange reason, it's acting weird. And then you to there, and you into there. And then we take this, run it into there. This one can run in there. This one is going to run there. That one is going to run there. Okay, everything is hooked up. The only thing I haven't hooked up is the helium, which is going to supply my power. And, oh, wait, hang on. You need, come here, need to run into there. Otherwise, this thing won't be making my sulfuric acid. I need chemicals for that. Didn't think of that. Chemicals are made in these things. Helium, wolfram powder, and silicon. Okay. Well, I am already making silicon back here in those. Oh, you're making ceramics. You're making silicon. All right, you know what? We're going to take out this line right here. And I'm going to put a connector right here. And then we're going to run a V2 into this. And then we're going to run this. Oh. Well, apparently we're not going to run that. Okay. Let's just put a rail support right here. Turn it that way. Raise it up to there. Run that rail into here. And then run it around into here. That now has everything it needs. It's got silicon and it's got sulfur coming into it. Right? Yes. No. Chemicals. Chemicals need silicon. Right. Take this line out. I skipped a step. All right. So I need another furnace. Let's put it right there. And then we're going to run a rail off of this into here. There into there. And then I need to run okay. We need to run rail support. Let's go right there. Into there. And then from there, we need to run to, wait, there we go, there, and then over to there. Okay, so now you're going to be making chemicals. So we're going to have silicon coming out of this machine, and then wolfram powder and helium coming down this line right here, which is coming from this back line from over there. Yeah. And now I need to figure out why my hardening agent is not unlocked. I thought I had that unlocked. Could have swore I did. What am I missing? Because I thought I looked in my recipes and it was done. Furnace.
I'm detecting increased rupture activity.
Oh,
Prepare for a wave.
I need applicators. That's my problem. These ladders suck. Oh my god. Oh. I have no applicators, that's why. Right, I need to make applicators. This thing. So going up that ladder, horrible. Going down the ladder, look straight down, come at it on about a 40-degree angle. It's the only way you're getting down that ladder. Hopefully that is something they are fixing in the game. I'd rather put a set of stairs in here to get up there than use that ladder. Or even one of the flexible ramps, you know, run it from about here up to there. Anything but that ladder. Okay, well, Ruptura is going to blow its top. Ooh, that's going down slow. I like it. And that's because I put in the Glutton Lem, which increases my consumable stats by 35. The Dietitian lowers my calorie by 18. And the Irrigator, which lowers my hydration by 20. So, yeah. Means I don't have to eat and drink as often, which is great. Do I? No, I have no applicators on me. And it's too late. All right. Well, we'll come back after the wave. We're going to go turn everything on, and I'm going to make a whole bunch of applicators to finish unlocking my hardening agent. So, see you then. All right. Instead of putting you through the torture of watching me set up stuff in here and gathering all the stuff I needed to finish unlocking the hardening agent, I just went ahead, gathered all the things I need, and fortunately, one of the things that I needed, the one thing I needed to finish unlocking the hardening agent was applicators. So I had all these machines running, making me applicators, and took them over there, unlocked the hardening agent. And along the way, realized that I made a mistake in the routing. I need the applicator to come down this line and go into this furnace in order to make the hardening agent, because that's the one that needs the applicator, not the silicon. So instead of this machine running over into here, now it runs into the right machine. And so that meant that I needed to keep hitting the wrong button. Reroute some of this stuff. So this back line here that's bringing in these materials there, I had to bring it in, and I had to put an extra split in the line right here in order to take stuff over to this one, because I realized that this machine was not getting the calcium powder and that it needed in order to make chemicals. So we now have the titanium rods and plates coming from up there to here, feeding into this machine, making tubes. We've got glass coming in on this line to here. This is making applicators. The applicators are then going to that machine, which is making the hardening agent. We've got calcite sheets and wolfram powder going into here to make, uh, what are we making in that? I completely forgot what the recipes were. Yeah, silicon, or ceramics, which is going into here to make synthetic silicon, which is also getting a line over here, uh, because it needs calcium powder, helium-3, and the ceramics. So this one's making the ceramics, everything else is feeding on this line into here, and then this machine is going into that one. And then all four of these are going to go down these lines and into those orbital launchers over there, which I need to run a line over to here. There we go. Those guys are now connected. So let's head up here. And you, my friend, are going to be future health. Or, nope, Griffiths. That's right. Nope, Griffiths was battery. Future health was the hardening agent. So I had a choice between pressurized helium, which I can't make yet, I haven't unlocked it, or hardening agent. And the hardening agent is worth 60, where that's worth 20. So that's what we're doing. Drop down here. Yes, give me the chemicals back, thanks. We're going to send hardening agent. Gimme. And the only thing left to do now is to turn on those last four machines. And we're going to be pumping out hardening agent for future health solutions, which is going to get me a machine that I need. So let's head up here. I suppose I could put a ramp at that end. It would probably be easier. I should put a ramp at that end. I'm going to put a ramp at that end. All right, you, my friend, hardening agent, go. Look at it all flowing over there. Okay. So we're going to have acid running out of there. We've got materials running out of here. Although, actually, right. This one is producing chemicals for this. You've got chemicals. I did not click on the recipe. That's why. I'm an idiot. Way too many things on the go here. Okay, you're already producing. You are the last one. There we go. So there. We now have sulfuric acid running down this line to these four machines. These guys are supplying those machines. I think we're good. And the nice thing is, stuff that's being made by these machines can come up this line and then run down that way to feed those three machines if I need it. Not that I do. There goes my first hardening agent right there. The first four. Acid is, or the sulfur is coming in, so we can make acid. Beautiful. So all of the grids, so this grid is powered, that grid is powered, all of the grids are powered, and I can go through here, delete any of these machines, and I shouldn't get huge lag spikes like I used to. But yeah, helium is feeding down. These guys are feeding in, the ones that are needed anyway. So we've got wolfram powder, calcite sheets. Glass should be coming in on one of those two. And it should all just be flowing. I don't see any. Cute thing is you can stand here, you look up there, and you'll see the drones way up there come down and land in these guys. but I'm not seeing any at the moment because we're waiting for glass, and that's going to take a minute. So yeah, should probably take... Oh, I think I've got 179,000 points that I've got to get sent. Those things are worth 60. So yeah, we're going to have to send a lot of those off. 1%. I've got 34% in Griffith's Blue at the moment. Because I dropped about 62,000 points into that. This one is starting fresh, and we're already at 2,400. And this is going to get me the compounder. Griffith's Blue is going to get me the defense tower. That's 179,000. So is this one. So we'll see how long this takes. It's 1:30 for me right now, and we will see how long it takes to get 179,000 points. I think the next one that I'm going to get is going to be Selenian here, because that gets me the assembler, which gets accumulators, generators, pressure tanks, electromagnets, resonators, condensers, laser emitters, and scanners. And that's going to be the last machine that we need in order to finish off the levels, because this one has 11 levels. Future Health has 11. Selenian has 11. Griffiths, on the other hand, has 11. The big one is Clever Robotics. 11? No. We're going to 13 because of the multi and the expandable storage in there. So the next one for these guys is the large personal, which is going to cost me 179,000. And ooh, we can send hardening agent to them. Oh, I could be sending to 2 corporations at once right now. I need more orbital launchers. Unfortunately, you can't pass through these guys to get to more. Yeah, why don't we do that? The only problem with these guys is they're offset. So having one of these splitters here to go into them kind of works. Having a line running across the front of them looks really weird. You know what? We're going to do it. We're going to take out these lines. And I am going to put in some more orbital launchers. And we're going to put them facing that way at that level. And then what we're going to do is put in a rail connector. Say here. And then I'm going to put a modulator in. Okay, one there. And one there. And then we're going to run the V2 rails this side into there. This side into here. And then these guys are going to run into those. I didn't realize that those guys wanted hardening agent as well. So now I got to get back up here. And we got to go run across here. You know what? I want platforms. There. Because I'm tired of almost falling off of here. Give me more platforms. There. Beautiful. You, my friend. Oh, who was it? Moon? No. It's Clever. Ah. Clever wants hardening agent. 2 corporations at once. Gotta love it. Okay, so now my hardening agent's going to come up here, split off at this point, and I'm going to be sending to these 2. Moon and Moon and Clever. Or no, Future Health and Clever. There we go. I just saw that one go in there. Nice. So the system does balance itself out. Some stuff right now is feeding at a slightly slower rate than I would like, but everything is flowing. So we are getting a hardening agent coming up to these 6. And those 4 in the front are producing hardening agent. Everything behind them and to the side is supplying them. I like the idea of compartmentalizing certain stuff in here. So all the basic titanium is made over there and then sent in here. Helium is over there. All of the wolfram, the basic materials are over there, and the calcium is over there. So then that leaves me a whole bunch of room right here on this platform to set up operations like this. I think one thing that I need to do is to go back to the calcium and the wolfram, possibly even the titanium, and maybe double the operations there. So that instead of having just one machine making calcite sheets, I got 2, maybe 3. Glass, I should probably have 2 of those. And then the blocks are being sent over. You know, and then all the wolfram stuff, I should probably double that up. And it would probably greatly increase my production here. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to look into it. It will probably be later in the week when I get that stuff done. Because I got to go back to work tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm probably just going to leave this run and see how long it takes to finish these guys off, sending them stuff. So we're at 2% there. We're at 34 there, but I'm not sending them anything. But I am sending stuff to these guys. So it's prioritized future health so far. But it's starting to balance out to where it's going to send half here, half here. Or at least I hope it is. But we'll see. Yesterday I had, was it Moon? No. Who did I have yesterday going? I had one going yesterday. Definitely was not Selenian. Griffiths? No. Don't think it was them. Oh. Nope, not Selenian. It was Future Health. That's right. Which got me the irrigator and dietitian lem. And now we're going to work on the compounder. So yeah. But yeah, that's about it for today. Couple of things before I go. Um, so this hab up here is nothing but storage up here. We've got calcium over here. We've got wolfram. We've got all the parts that get made, extra helium stabilizers, accumulators, glass, and all that. The titanium is all right here. There's nothing in these ones here. Most of these are empty, except for this has got pistol and shotgun ammo. I was going to put other ammo in there, but I tend to use up that ammo on my little trips around the map. Over here, we've got little stuff that I just quickly dumped off. I should actually take that out of there. And I'm going to dump off all of my building materials into that one. So now I've got chemicals, applicators, wolfram powder and wire, calcite sheets. We've got sulfur, stuff I don't need to be carrying. But one thing I found is that some of the materials I've got from wolfram, calcite, and titanium in that was as I was tearing that apart up there in order to build this, my storage filled up. And so I just went around, I deconstructed everything, left a whole bunch of boxes sitting up there. Just as I finished, I got the warning that Ruptura was going to blow its top. So I thought, all right, I'll come back. I ran over, went in the hab, waited for the eruption, came back out. All of the boxes of materials that I had left on top of the platform there had disappeared. They got burned off. So if you've got a ton of extra materials that you know you're never going to need and you just want to get rid of it, uh, go and grab it out of your storage in that and just walk out here, drop it on the ground or, wherever. And the next eruption, it'll all go away. Uh, or if some of those materials, like if you want to use them for stuff, like I needed to unlock the hardening agent. I had a whole bunch of materials up there. I needed to make more intermediate building materials in order to build, another receiver over there and then some other stuff. So I had the materials up there to come down here and build intermediate materials. And then, of course, I've got basic building materials being made over there that I need for the ammunition. So whenever I need more basic building materials, I just go over there and raid those machines because my storage is full, which means those guys, they just fill up with materials until they get a call. And then they start producing more. So they hold, you know, 2,000 building materials between the two machines over there. And I can just run over there and grab those anytime I need them. And then, you know, go build stuff on that platform or use it for making the intermediate building materials here. Although I should actually have, now that I'm thinking about it, I should put 3 more boxes right here. Make one of them basic, one intermediate, and then one quartz. Quartz are a pain to build because you need the intermediate building materials and quartz ore. And of course, getting the quartz ore, you've got to go down into the underground caves to get that. And good luck with that one. That's going to take you a long time to get enough of those to build enough quartz building materials, because the large hab requires quartz building materials. You need 40 of them to build a large hab. As far as I know, that is the only thing that you need them for, though. I've built a couple of them now. I have 30 left. I built 2 here, and I think I've got 2 more out there somewhere. So I need to go get more quartz in order to build more large habs, because these things are great. I've got room for all these machines here, plus my regeneration pod and my LEM machine. And then, I've got all this space on the walls here for storage. So, yeah, why wouldn't you? But anyway, we are hitting the 1 hour mark here, and I'm going to get out of here. Now that I've got that all set up out there, I'm going to just sit and let the game run for a while, and we'll see how long it takes to get one of those corporations done. The other one's going to be a little bit behind, so not too worried about that. But we'll see how long it takes to get one of them, Future Health, done. So, I'll come back tomorrow. We'll do some other stuff, and yeah, figure out what I'm going to do from there. So, until next time, catch you later.